Next, your friend and mine, Hot Dog.
The name of this program is Hot Dog. Hot Dog. Hot Dog. Hot Dog. Hot Dog. Is it Hot Dog?
We're going to try to bring you Hot Dog in just a minute. Please stay at your sets. Please. It's awfully important for all of us.
Baseball gloves. What are they made of?
They're made of leather sewn together.
Leather. Leather. Leather.
Pigeon feathers.
How do they make them?
Well, first they cut out the leather.
Tell me about playing baseball when you were a kid, Woody.
I was second base in the school athletic league that we had, and I would curl myself up in a square position and lay down in the center of the field. And the important thing was that the runners running around the bases would touch me, or else they'd be out.
This is an everyday object. We call it a pencil. Have you ever really taken the time to examine and see all of the different aspects of a pencil? For instance, its tip. It's sometimes sharp. Feel it. Get the point? How about the part here that was shaved by sharpening the pencil and the little round edges that it makes? The whole shaft here and the color of the shaft. And then the lettering on the pencil and the color of the lettering. And then some of the designs that are on the metal part. And then the rubber tip, the eraser. Have you ever thought about all of the different things that you could do with a pencil? For instance, what is the sound that a pencil makes? How much does a pencil weigh? You can throw a pencil in the air and play with it. What does a pencil smell like? You can smell more on its rubber tip. Some of the other things you could do with a pencil. You could use it as a dagger. I don't recommend that you do that. Or maybe you could scratch your nose with a pencil. Or you know what? You could lead an entire orchestra with a pencil.
Where does honey come from?
The bee, the flowers. They squish the honey out from flowers and go and bees collect it and make a honeycomb.
A tree. A honey tree.
Goes in his nest and spins it. You know, like put it like it's he gonna put it in a little pot.
Bees. Out of flowers.
The nectar is in the flower if there's the proper moisture contents in the ground. And the flower works like a thermometer. When it gets warmer, the nectar raises in the flower. If it gets up close enough to where the bee can reach it, the bee comes around and sucks the nectar up. The bee has its own stomach and then another pouch, which we call the second stomach. And that's where they store the honey, in that one. But first, the bee always feeds itself first, and then the reserve honey goes in the pouch, which she digests. When you smoke them, they rush inside the hive and fill themselves with honey. If you give them too much smoke, it hurts them more than anything. It gets them mad. But if you give them the right amount, they'll go in, fill themselves with honey, and it makes them a little calmer. And therefore, you can work them. You cannot work a hive without smoke. It's impossible. The bee brings the honey back to the hive. When she goes into the hive, she is met by a bunch of workers who are inside the hive, who do nothing but stay in, take honey out of her pouch, out of that extra pouch, and they store it. Now, if there's just a normal amount, they'll store it over the brood, because they'll feed the larvae with it. When the pouch is empty, naturally, the bee takes right off right away for another load. The bees in the hive take this honey and they mix it with water so they can handle it better. And then they put it in the cells and they make a terrific ventilation system. They fan it with their wings, and they fan the nectar mixed with the water until they evaporate all the moisture that they want out of it, till the thing is up, and there you have your honey. After the cell is full, they secrete wax and they cap it. When we go out there and we get the honey off, we bring it into the warehouse, and once we get it in the building here, then we take it and take the capping off of it with a steam-heated vibrator knife, and whirl it in the extractor there, which the centrifugal force whips it out against the walls and drains into the tanks.
Bees make honey, sugar, anything sweet, chocolate bars with almonds. You need big bees to make the ones with almonds, or almonds, as they like to say. Bees make any sweet product at all, including little blonde girls. In a minute, more of whatever this is.
Is he kidding?
Yes.
Hello there. I'm a sponge. People used to think we were plants, but now everybody knows we are animals. Most of us live in deep, warm, salt water around Florida and in the Mediterranean Sea. We sponges don't like to move around, so we attach to something solid and start growing there for life. Uh-oh. Bicycles.
fast can you go on a bicycle?
I go about 200 miles an hour on my bicycle.
Really?
Yes. But what I have to do first is grease my body completely so I can move my legs fast. So what I'll use is either axle grease or I just smear butter over my legs so they move very rapidly.
What's a compass?
Compass is something that helps you with your direction so you don't get lost or you can get back from where you got lost. It tells you where you are.
It's a little round thing, and it tells you which direction to go in. It's magnified.
It tells east, north, south, and west. Not in that order. They usually start north, south, east, and west.
Like if you get lost, it tells you where north is.
A compass tells you where you're standing at the moment. You look down and say you're in Cleveland at the time, and you take out your compass and you look at it and it says you are standing in Cleveland.
The magnetic compass is probably one of the simplest instruments today that is still used for navigation. It consists principally of a magnet suspended on a needle, allowed to swing freely and align itself with the magnetic lines of the Earth. The real reason a magnetic compass points towards the north is because of magnets that are located in the dial align themselves with the magnetic lines of force in the Earth. If we can imagine the axis of the Earth, a point from the North Pole to the South Pole, as being a large magnet, and that lines of force come out from either end, then we can easily see how a magnet in the float or dial assembly will align itself with these forces.
Who invented the compass?
I don't know. A man. I'm not sure.
Gideon Compass, who is a French inventor who also invented the snail and fog, the gray stuff that hangs over cities.
The invention of the compass is pretty well lost in history. The Chinese were credited with it. The first practical use from a marine standpoint was sometime in the early 1800s. The English did a good deal of the original research in the magnetic compass, and the first practical liquid compass was developed around 1850. After the dial has been assembled, it's put onto a device where the operator can add a special paint in order to balance the dial so that it won't be down on one side or the other. This paint is a lead-based paint and is applied with a brush just as you would any ordinary paint. The liquid performs two functions. It magnifies the dial in the dome-type compass that we've seen, as well as steady the dial in rough seas.
Okay, now that's the sun. There's the sun, and I see a shadow there. So where the shadows are, this is the afternoon. So that's the west. The sun is going towards the west. Oh, no, that's the light. Wait a minute, that's not the sun. Where's the sun?
No, it is. The sun's over there.
The sun's over there, too. All right, the sun sets in the west. We all know that. That will be my west. Therefore, that is my east. Now, I get the other part mixed up, north and south. If I'm facing west, right is something and left is something, but I'm not sure which. So usually I did my thing where I would face north, and then I could figure out east and west. But see, I don't know which is. I see my east and my west. Okay. Probably that's north. It feels right. Is that right? That's north. That's north. That's my east. That's my east. That's my west. That's my north, and that's my south. Yeah, here, right here. But when I go to another place, it's all different.